Sitting down with Dr. David Klein. Today we're going to talk about your immune system. And you might be thinking, well, I don't have any problems with my immune system. I don't take part in, illicit things. And I'm a clean person and I eat the right kind of foods. And I don't need any worry about immunizations or any of that sort of thing. And oh, by the way, my kids are going to start in school next month. They don't need to be immunized anymore because we don't have diseases like polio or diphtheria or any of that anymore. I mean, come on, doctor.
You bet.
Okay. I see a smile.
Yeah, there are a bunch of things we have to discuss on this. It's not a matter of belief system. There are many in the alternative medical community that really believe that these inoculations are terrible for you. If you go back historically, okay, what was it that killed people? Why was it that in the 1930s when they started Social Security, it really wasn't expected that a small percentage of people would ever make it to 65? Not the majority. It was expected that very few people would get there, therefore you'd be paying in all this time, and it's called additional taxes. Additional dealer markup if you're selling cars, and that's kind of the way the government saw this process. What changed, okay, was the fact that we were better able to prevent communicable and infectious disease. Polio is a great example of this. Back in the day, 1950s, 1940s, 1930s, it wasn't uncommon for kids to go to school and see an empty desk. Well, that's little Johnny there. He won't be coming back. Little Johnny either died, little Johnny's on a respirator, iron lung, or little Johnny isn't going to be walking for 6 or 8 months, if ever again.
Right.
Okay, that's the way that it went. I remember this when I was a kid. Okay, and then they came out with the polio vaccines. These were important days. We stood up around the block to get these vaccines. Mm-hmm. Why? We all understood that there was a finite risk that some people were going to actually get the disease from the inoculation. But it was far better than the certainty that one kid in 50 was going to end up like FDR did. Okay, that's the way to, if it hit the president, it's going to hit the kids as well. That is one of the issues that we had. Infectious disease was something that used to kill a bunch of mothers in childbirth. Puerperal fever is what it was called. There's a strep infection. So we were able to control this with antibiotics. Inoculations and antibiotics are largely responsible for 90% of the people listening to this show right now. Okay, you are here because of the benefits that were given to your parents, the siblings, the people around you. And we're starting to forget the lessons that we once learned. When you inoculate a herd, okay, the disease goes away. Smallpox is almost unheard of. Okay, it killed tens of millions of people. Tens of millions of people died as a result of smallpox. Now, it's rare in the entire world as a result of these inoculations. These are not a mistake. It's just the way life goes. But the immune system is more complicated than just going out and getting a shot, getting an inoculation, taking a drop of a polio vaccine on a sugar cube as we once did it. None of that at all. The immune system is more complicated. It's probably the single most complicated organ system in your body, and it's one of the least well understood. Cell-to-cell recognition is what it's all about. How does the body know, okay, that a bacterium is not something that's supposed to be there? When you do get an infection, very, very frequently, the bacteria that are the most virulent are the ones that are able to compromise your immune system. Those that are able to nail your body's defense mechanisms, thereby allowing themselves to gain a toehold, to get in and to start to replicate and thereby do you damage. We are all food. We go out and we eat chicken, we eat turkey, we eat fish, we eat beef. The joke is there are organisms that like to eat us. Bacteria, viruses pretty much are at the top of the heap these days. So what do we have to do to protect ourselves from infectious disease, and what do we have to do to protect ourselves from ourselves? The immune system is the main defense mechanism that we have that protects us from cancer. Think that one over for just a second. So if you haven't thanked your immune system recently, now would be a good time to say, gee, immune system, thank you very much for keeping me alive thus far, because I have relatives that didn't make it, people that died of cancer, died of lymphoma, died of all kinds of things like leukemia, and so on and so forth. Their immune systems, for whatever reason, were compromised. What does it take to do that? Well, there are viruses that'll do that. It's unfortunate. Okay, you catch something bad, sometimes you end up with something bad. But the real thing and the real most common cause of immune system compromise is something that we do to ourselves. The diet, that which you have put in front of you, very frequently doesn't have everything that you need in order to keep your cells healthy. Now, this is important, okay, because the immune system is extraordinarily sensitive to micronutrient deficiencies. You know, if you have a little bit of calcium deficiency, your immune system goes nuts. It takes a lot of calcium deficiency for you to develop osteopenia and osteoporosis. It takes a little bit of B12 deficiency to cause an immune system issue. It takes a lot of a B12 deficiency to cause neuropathy. And the list keeps going and going and going. And we're all familiar with the advertisements on television and radio looking at those sorts of things that you can take for cough and cold. It's cold season, therefore we're going to give you zinc. Zinc lozenges and zinc sprays and zinc this and zinc that. Well, guess what? Zinc is the number 2 micronutrient deficiency amongst our population, and the immune system is highly sensitive to it, as it is with magnesium. So what do you do about your immune system? What can you do to nurture it? What can you do to protect it? And it starts with your diet, and it ends with the nutraceuticals that it takes in order to make sure that you've got everything that you need to have. Now, why do you think you need to take additional zinc and additional magnesium, additional silicon, additional vanadium, chromium, and so on and so forth? And the answer is actually surprising. It's because it's not in our water supply anymore. Now, let's look at that for a moment. We're on city water, okay? So it comes from God knows where. It runs through all kinds of filters. Lots of things happen before it ends up in front of you. Now, you're going to say, well, but it's also got chlorine. I'll go, so what? It has a little fluoride. So what? What it doesn't have is it doesn't have the minerals that you need in order to remain healthy. And it gets even more interesting. Here we are in Florida on the East Coast. Here we are in California in certain areas where the mineral content of the soil has been leached away. So it's not in our fruits and vegetables anymore. If it's not in the fruits and vegetables and grasses, it's not going to end up in the beef. So we're all, just in sequence ending up deficient in these minerals. And this is where a great deal of the immune system compromise comes from. So I typically start people off in getting on the right foot to health with replacing these minerals. We use something called magic minerals. Now, why do we use magic minerals? Because it's inexpensive. It's the right balance. It gets you what you need. You never take zinc without taking selenium. You don't take selenium without taking zinc. Why? Because the body uses the two in balance. If you're going to take calcium, you better take magnesium. If you're going to take magnesium, you better take calcium. But they're taken in the right ratios using the right moieties. Vanadium and chromium. Deficiencies there cause diabetes. Well, wouldn't you know it? Okay, diabetes is the sort of thing that about 1 person in 3 listening to me right now has on their mind. Why? Well, because your blood sugar was running a little bit high. The doctor said my A1C might be too high. And what I will tell you is your vanadium and chromium deficiency, which would probably fix the whole problem to begin with. So we start with the minerals. The magic minerals is cheap and it's easy. Then you take it from there. What other sorts of micronutrient deficiencies can cause the immune system to go sideways? So we start with the B complex. Now, you may already be taking the B complex. What you might not realize, there are over 50 different pieces in the B complex. If you take a look at what's in front of you, there may be 6. The 6 most common? Probably, but certainly the 6 least expensive. So you need to understand that you need to take something very, very comprehensive that gets it all for you. We have a product that I'd like you to review. Just go on stagesoflifevitamins.com and look at Down to Basics. Look at what the ingredient list is. Okay, this is a bare minimum for an average adult. This is a bare minimum. Look at it and understand what it takes to get this. That product is engineered by me. It's a nice one. It takes 4 capsules per day. That 1-a-day vitamin you're taking isn't even close. You cannot pound a quart of liquid into a half-pint bottle. It isn't going to work. And that's pretty much the way it is with these particular substitutes, these chemicals that you have to have in your body in order for you to function properly. The immune system is important. Now, what about sleep in the immune system? Okay, now this is something that your mom may have lectured to you. Well, if you stay out late, you're going to catch a cold. If you're out there in the rain, you're going to catch a cold. You're going to get sick. If you're out there, drinking and going and running around with people, you could end up with tuberculosis. That's one you don't hear people talk about too much, but they used to say this. The joke is it's correct, okay? Your body actually kicks out growth hormone when you're in REM sleep. If you want your immune system to do well, you get an 8-hour sleep. If you think you get by with 6, you'd be wrong. Your body needs 8.5 hours or more every evening. Otherwise, you are going to get ill.
Now, there's even nutraceuticals to help you get a good sleep regimen.
Yes, sir.
All right. If you go to stagesoflifevitamins.com, you can read up all about them, and you'll put them on an automatic delivery system. Now, how cool is that? And you get a 15% discount. So, stagesoflifevitamins.com, and you might drop by suffernomore.com just to find out more about the doctor himself. Very, very impressive record. And that would be suffernomore.com. And we'll take up another topic tomorrow.